You worked very closely with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. What was different and what led to this very changed response, this very aggressive response by India to Pakistan's state-sponsored terror? We've been suffering this terror for decades, Ambassador.
No, absolutely. But the difference under Prime Minister Modi's leadership is that 2016, there was the Uri attack. We had a response. Our special operations team went across the border and eliminated a few of the terrorist camps that were there. 2019, we had Pulwama, and we saw, strikes across the border by our Air Force. This time, in the wake of the Pahalgam terrorist attack, I think Op Sindoor was a fitting response to that heinous act that was perpetrated by terrorists that was sponsored by Pakistan. And but our actions were very calibrated, that we hit the terrorist camps. Those terrorists that were directly responsible for Pahalgam were hit. The Lashkar-e-Toiba, their headquarters was hit. Some of their main operatives were eliminated. Similarly, with the Jaish-e-Mohammed. So I think we have avenged the memory of those of our citizens who were gunned down so mercilessly in Pahalgam. We have maintained since then a very firm and uncompromising position, but at the same time, we have not gone beyond. I mean, we could have done a lot more. We could have gone out and hammered the Pakistanis on all fronts. But what we did was a very proportionate, a very calibrated strike, not only in Op Sindoor, but subsequently in response to Pakistani kinetic actions. I think we had also been very firm in our response. And as External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar said, he said that we will be firm in our response to any escalation that Pakistan undertakes.
All right, so essentially, this is what is now being said by India, that we are waiting and watching the situation. But the fact is that the violation has been on the part of Pakistan. And any act of terror is going to be treated as an act of war. Essentially, a war aggression is how it's going to be looked at. Kamal continues to be with us. Top military officers meeting tomorrow. It's going to essentially give us an idea, Kamal, in which direction are we going from tomorrow onwards as far as this escalation is concerned, isn't it?
Post the ceasefire, the 24 to 48 hours are extremely essential because it actually does indicate what Pakistan actually has in mind. The indication is obviously the mischief done immediately after the ceasefire. After 3 hours, what we saw is a number of drone activities happening in India. Remember, as far as Pakistan is concerned, several of the times they have been calling out what they say and allege is false flag operation, which is a complete bunkum. This is a provocation which has been considered. And let me tell you, this is not just about a drone war. This is not just about a missile war. What we saw is not just Pakistan in action, but also a misinformation war. What we saw was what we call the fog of war in that particular sense. Because remember, there were several claims being made and this is where what we also know is that the misinformation is very deliberate, whether it is directed towards audience of Pakistan or that of India. And now that is why several of those particular sites which were related to Pakistan were banned, were put out of sight. But meanwhile, what we know is that Pakistan has always, and so we've seen Uri happened in 2016, there was a retribution. In 2019, Pulwama terror attack happened, and then there was the surgical strike part 2 in Balakot. Meanwhile, just a couple of years down the line, in 2025, we also saw Pahalgam terror attack. So Pakistan hasn't really changed because they keep testing waters, they keep testing India's restraint, and they keep going because remember, they only indulge with non-state actors because that's not a conventional warfare, that's a low-intensity conflict. And again, Pakistan continues to provide safe havens. Remember, the terrorists who were killed, not only the wreaths were provided by the Pakistani army, they were also the government functionaries who were part of funerals or the deputy commissioner of Faisalabad was present in one of them. So all this is indicative that Pakistan continues to harbor these terrorists. So will there be any sort of a change of strategy? Perhaps not. But the messaging is definitely that Pakistan now has to pay back, and the escalation level level this time is not that there would be just surgical strike. Remember the bombings and the airstrips put out of use, especially in Islamabad, in Lahore, what we saw in Rawalpindi. This is an indication that the escalation can actually be putting India, Pakistan at the brink of war. And that is something that Pakistan has to understand very well. They strike, they would be struck back, and that will be hard. That would also have repercussions, especially, and that is why what we know is the DGMOs need to have a certain understanding. Now, what we also know is what they agree to and what India agrees to, because remember, this is conditional as far as Indus Water Treaty is concerned. That is in abeyance. There's also information that, yes, we do have at least 2 civilians and 1 Pakistan Ranger in custody. That could be on the exchange on cards, provided Constable P.K. Sahu, who's from the BSF, who crossed over from from Firozpur inadvertently. And I would not even say that was a crossover. He was just at the brink. He was near a tree where he was taken away by the Pakistani Rangers. And on a normal, usual time, in 2-3 days' time, usually the Pakistan or even the Indian side do return soldiers who inadvertently cross over. But that has not happened because things look extremely tense. But what will really become of it will be known now. Will Pakistan continue to show its colors, or whether there is a certain sense of decency when it comes to talks? So DGMO's talking is first breaking the ice after the ceasefire has been announced, particularly the armies. Remember, even the Atari-Wagah border, which has been put out, there could be some sort of resumption. We do not know as far as certain of the people who had to cross over, like there are Russians or Iranians who've been waiting for their turn to go back because they came via Pakistan, have been lurking right there. So that's sort of a messaging. Whether there would be clarity on that, that needs to be seen. But meanwhile, the DGMOs talking to each other will be largely on line of control and the international border, and what really means for the next few days for the entire population of the country.